Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nedling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Nedling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to take your business to the next level. I am so happy to have my guest today, Momma Rhodes, or Shannon Rhodes. So let me tell you about Shannon. She is known as Momma Rhodes. She's contributing author of a national best-selling book and a founder and CEO of two companies, Pure Rhodes and Convo with Momma Rhodes. She has been married for 25 years and raised three strong, intelligent, confident, and spiritual daughters, and two are a set of twins. Yay, you.
Yeah, no.
She loves to read, cook, travel, and learn new things. Shannon's formal education is from the University of Texas at Austin, but the bulk of her education is from many of her life experiences and several management training programs. Through trial and error, she developed a program that helps people recognize their purpose and reach their fullest potential. Please join me in welcoming Shannon Rhodes as we talk about confidently pursuing your dreams. Welcome, Shannon.
Well, thank you for having me, Vicki.
You're so welcome. So I always start with a very easy question. Now,
Okay.
We said where you went to school. Are you still in Texas? Where do you live?
Yes, I am currently residing in Houston, Texas at the moment.
Houston, awesome.
Yes, big Houston.
Everything's bigger in Texas, so.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Big hearts in Texas, that's for
Yes,
sure.
we pride ourselves. Yes.
So before I get into the main part of this, I did want to just give you accolades for raising twins. And I always ask parents of twins because I had a cousin who had twins, and they were not they were fraternal. So they don't look at, is that right? That they don't look like each
they're
other.
fraternal and those
Yeah.
were my twins. They were
Yes.
fraternal. Yes.
And they were absolutely opposite of each other in their likes and things, but they had an inner sense of when one needed the other. Is that
Yes.
what you found?
That's what I find currently still going on to this day.
Wow.
Yes, that inner sense, want to call and say, Mom, I think you need to call the other.
Yeah.
I just have this sense. Yeah.
That's so cool. So what was your aha moment that inspired you to go from being a management training corporate world to doing this business that you have, to be your own boss? It's, takes a little bit of courage.
Yes. Yes. I can, first of all, let me just say, I am strong belief in faith. I definitely, you cannot do most things without that.
Yeah.
My aha moment was when we had a organization change where leadership was changing, and I saw the direction that the upper leadership was heading to, and it did not align with my morality clause or my center.
Mm-hmm.
And that disturbed me so much to where I just prayed about it. And I just said, Lord, what do I want to do? And he said, jump. Just do it.
You jumped.
And I did it. I closed my eyes and I jumped.
Oh.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, I had one of my friends call and said she needed help in her business. Then I had another person call and said they needed help with their business. since I'm unemployed now. So I think it's just that my belief in myself and my faith and the perseverance to push it through.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you say everyone on this earth has a unique purpose.
Yes.
Why do you struggle figuring out your purpose all the time? I mean, we know we have this unique purpose, but people, when you ask them, it's not an answer that often comes right away. Why do we struggle?
I think we come into this world, if you look at babies and toddlers, they just know what they're supposed to do, or they just so confident in themselves. But I think things change once we put our children in school, or we enter school, and we are starting to be conditioned to pursue certain careers or be like a certain personality trait. So we no longer are recognized for the individualism. We're more trained, the teachers are training them to become this one type of person where individualism isn't praised or recognized. Yeah.
That brings to mind two things. One of the things what I talk about with people overcoming their fear of public speaking, I give a story of my grandson who was 4 years old sitting in his car seat. And as we're driving, he's describing to me everything he sees. And he loved at that time big construction vehicles, you know, and he is telling me, Oma, you should see. And he is back there and I'm laughing because he is so animated. He's so excited. He's doing all the right things that you should do as a powerful speaker. And then I thought, it's so sad that when he goes into kindergarten or first grade, that's going to start to be peeled away by people that criticize him for being that way.
That part.
Yeah.
Where you think, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Where you think it's no longer acceptable. So you start little by little just chipping away at who you were meant to be.
Yeah. The first laughter that when you speak, the first, you know, that's not right. You know, if you didn't memorize some speech word for word, you get taken off on it. And, you know, you have to conform to their other things. But we had just one of the youth groups that I was working with, we were talking about how you're introduced at career day, lawyers, doctors, all these things.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, my husband is a teacher, a retired teacher and artist. And I see so often where kids that could be creative and artists in those early stages, rather than being encouraged, where we just work on your math, work on your studies, and, you know, put the crayons away. And now we have a bunch of adults that have no creativity, no innovation, no confidence in doing something new. So I absolutely understand where you're coming from.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what does it mean to confidently step into your purpose?
I think once that is removed, or you have conformed to what society has dictated what you should be, when you start to walk in your purpose, it is going to be exceptionally uncomfortable because you have been conditioned to think or behave a certain way.
Yeah.
So I always say, when you are walking in your purpose, but you feeling good, you feel happy, you feel at peace about it, that's when you know that this must be for me. Kind of like a stylist or my eyeglasses. I love fashion.
Yeah.
I love makeup. And as you stated earlier, that the creative side is never praised. They always tell you to. go to school, or you
Yeah.
be a doctor, a lawyer, a CEO. That should be your dream, not a makeup artist. So as I started going back and doing the styling and the makeup, I would do that for free.
Yeah.
I didn't even really need to make any money because it made me feel good inside. Yeah. So if you want your purpose, and it's so important to do that, is no amount of money that you make, if you're in a career that's not your purpose, your spirit will be unhappy.
Yeah.
But when you start walking in your purpose, life is just much easier. You're happy, you're at peace, and then it doesn't even seem like work anymore. Yeah.
But you do have to put the value on what you do, you know, everything that you have that may come very easy to you, but the other person can't do that.
That is so true.
And so often we don't really value our gifts. We're, as you said, we give it for free.
Yes. And that bring up a good point, Vicki. That is a lot of time we think that, because I got caught up in that. I said it came easy to me, then it should be easy for you, but it's not.
That is
my
so
gift
true.
and my purpose. And I need to, that's my value. And your value is something different that I can't do. And I see it from you. Yes.
That's right. How can I make your life easier?
Right.
How can I give back to you?
Right.
You talk about being you boldly. I love that.
Yeah.
Being you boldly. You should put you should make a shirt that says that.
Oh, I think I will. Be you boldly.
Be you boldly.
Okay. Let me
write that down. There's your first marketing tip for free.
And I would say, Vicki recommended this.
That's right.
Yes.
So be you boldly. Talk to me about, you know, how did that resonate with you, and why is that so very important?
I see so many people, like when I look at individuals, you're probably the same. You see their gift. You just see it, and you just get so frustrated that they can't see it. So a lot of times I'm that bold person. You know, my spirit, my personality is just bold. And I come from that with raising my children. They will always be hesitant, and they weren't raised that way. It just over time became that way. Because I'm so bold, they would kind of sit in the background. Then I start realizing that I'm colorful, as how I describe myself, opinionated, and my voice is going to be heard. Well, not everybody has that personality. So I figured that must be one of my gifts, to help you reach your goal or your purpose. But that might not necessarily be it. Your purpose might be a more quieter gift, whereas mine is bold. So together, whatever your gift is, and I can help be your voice out there for you.
As you were talking, that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, we do often see more in people. We'll believe more in what they can do until they believe in themselves, right? And I think that someone that is bold, like you, you need to have uber listening skills, because your gift of boldness, as you said, is that thing that will lift up that person until they do believe in themselves. And your enthusiasm can be the passion that will take that person to the next level. Your you know, I don't know, out of the box enthusiasm, excitement is going to be contagious for them. And it takes time for somebody that's shy and maybe introverted, like I am, to really be able to accept the fact that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be authentic. It's okay to be shy, but don't be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes when we have to listen more, let them talk more, draw that out of them more, ask a lot of questions so that we can have them see what we see in them, right? I think that's what your gift is.
Oh, thank you.
So I think that's where the boldness comes out. It's not like walk into a room and, be aggressive or whatnot. It's really
Right.
being bold enough to take chances, being bold enough to really live your authentic self and not be apologetic for it.
Yes.
So that's why I think you need to make that shirt.
And I always tell people that I mentor, the best lesson you have is because a lot of people look at failure as bad.
Yeah,
Failure is not bad.
that's right.
As long as you learn from it, because you won't fail. Like when you first start to walk as a toddler, how many times did you fall? But you succeeded. That's what I tell people.
That's right. So how can someone who has bad memories around Mother's Day reclaim that day and enjoy it? Sometimes moms, we can be tough on our kids, and that gives them, I always say, wonder how much this is costing them in therapy later.
I'm at that point right now. I'm going, ooh, how many times was my name brought up in the therapy session? Because I think there's no manual on motherhood. When we come into that, we're just given this child and we're just told to raise it. And I think it's one of the hardest jobs out there because there isn't a manual. And you want to know why? Because each child is different. Unless God gives us that manual for each child, that would be a difficult thing to do. And I know a lot of people who look at Mother's Day maybe not had that warm, fuzzy mom or had the upbringing that society is telling us that Mother's Day or mother should be. One of the things that, because my mother suffered from depression, clinical depression, and you didn't even know what that was at the time because she's my mom. So you think that's normalized because that's what you grew up with. Going off to college and then seeing other moms, I start realizing that's not necessarily how things should be. But one of the things that I celebrate Mother's Day to the fact that my mom did the best she could with what she had. And that comes with forgiveness. And I saw her not as anger, but empathy, because she, with the limited tools that she had or resources, she made it happen the best way she knew how. And I learned from her some things of what I did not want to carry on to my children. So that I look forward to.
Very wise, very wise. Time now for rapid fire.
Okay.
So rapid fire is just, I have 4 questions for you for this, all that you can easily answer. So we talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but what has being a mom of twins taught you?
Oh, the first thing it taught me was that each child is an individual because they were totally opposite of each other. One liked dark colors, the other one liked bright colors. The one was athletic, the other one was not athletic. So it taught me going in to give the best mother that they could have, that I did not compare the two. I did not sit and say, well, your sister did this, why you don't do that? I then recognized very early in my parenting that in order to raise these two girls, I had to look at them individual and raise them individually according to their gifts.
That reminds me, I come from a large family. There are 7 kids, and all of them, 2 parents, 7 kids, all different. And it was funny, and maybe you can resonate with this too, but when I went to a Catholic school, and the teachers, my sister's a year older than me. I'm a year older than my next brother. And so all of the kids that came after my sister and I, the teachers always were, having an opinion of what they were going to get, and then after me, there were 4 boys or 3 boys and then a girl. So,
yes, that's what happened.
So then it's like all of the boys had such a hard time because the nuns and the teachers were always expecting them to act like my sister and I, and it was totally different, and I think so, as you said, parents tend to do that. Like, why aren't you like your brother? Why aren't you like your sister?
Yes.
And
you
made such a great point that each is individual and should celebrate that.
And you have to find each one of them's individual strengths.
Yeah.
Parent to that strength. Yes.
Very wise. Very wise. So share a couple of tips about raising successful, happy children.
Well, piggybacking off the first conversation we had, that was one of the first things, is to get to know your children, socialize with them, and with a listening ear. They're sharing with you who they are. And you are, as a parent and as a mom, you're their first friend. You're their first love. You're their everything. They're looking up to you. So be careful of the words that come out of your mouth, even when you get upset, because you can't not take that back. I mean, you could apologize for it, might get the acceptance, but those words echoes into their head because they value you so much.
Yeah, you're always trying to make them proud, if you will.
Yes, we're always, and I know you probably like that too. I still to this day try to make my parents proud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college until I went in, started at 47. And the only reason I went to college is that whenever I was in high school, I had made the decision that my parents couldn't afford college. And I knew they were going to try. So I went to the counselor and changed my track to be business and went into business. But I had told my dad, I will go to college, just not now. And so I went to college and graduated at 50 because I made that promise to my dad.
And it's never too late. No. That was your purpose.
And actually, college was a whole lot easier.
Yes, because you already know.
I had all those years of experience.
Yeah.
Like, when you had to do discussion questions about situations, been there, done that. So it made it easy for me to get, a 4.0 because I'm living this. Hey guys, everything the teacher's telling you is true.
You already experienced it. You could have wrote the book.
I know. So yes, I sometimes say college is wasted on the young.
We think alike, because that's what I said. The things I did in college, I did not appreciate.
Yeah.
I think I would have valued it more as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So the last one is, what is the best advice you ever received?
Oh, so many. I think it was one of my my very first manager when I first came out of college. She uttered these words to me, and I shared it with my kids and everybody. She would always, because she was my manager at the time, but then she moved up to director, but she was training us, all of her knowledge.
Nice.
She said, and I asked her, and I said, why would you be so freely to give us your tricks and your tips as a manager? Because she was an awesome manager. And she said, if you're not replaceable, you're not promotable.
Yeah. So
and
true.
I thought that was so, and I live by that creed that I know a lot of people who are in the workforce, or you always feel as though you're in competition with somebody. Well, if you're the best at that position or whatever it is that you're doing, they're going to keep you in that position.
Long time.
Yeah. And then you wonder why you don't get the promotion.
I know.
Because they probably can't afford, because you haven't trained your replacement.
Very true. All right, it is time now for me to share my screen. So those of you that are listening, please go grab a paper and pencil. I always remind you that you should have did that from the beginning, but that's okay. We're still going to let you see this, and all this information will be on my YouTube as well as my website. So for those that are listening, the website is convowithmommarhodes.com. Again, convowithmommarhodes.com. And she's on Facebook, Convo with Momma Rhodes. TikTok is at Convo with Momma Rhodes. And Instagram is Convo with Momma Rhodes. So everybody say together, Convo with Momma Rhodes. Easy to remember. Shannon, why don't you tell them a little bit about what they might find on your website to help them?
So if you visit my website, if you sign up we give out a monthly newsletter about confidence and living boldly within your purpose. And then also I do consulting one-on-one. Eventually, I'm going to get to some group. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll receive that information as well.
Very good. So it has been wonderful chatting with you today about pursuing our dreams and being a mom of twins, and really so many great nuggets shared today. I would encourage everybody to go to convowithmommarhodes.com. Get more information. If you need any assistance, do sign up to have her assist you. And so thank you so much for being a wonderful guest today.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And as always, I remind everybody that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Nettling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nettling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.